everyone, welcome back to another lesson. We are going to be continuing 7-3. We have very little notes to take today, even less than yesterday's lesson, just because we're going to be doing a foldable as well. So go ahead and turn your textbook to page 273. 273. We're going to be picking up where we left off the other day. We are going to be doing a new guiding question though. Okay, this is going to be kind of confusing, but I'm not going to be doing my table of contents in this notebook because I ran out of pages in my old one and it's going to be kind of confusing. So if you are doing your table of contents and you still have pages in your notebook, go ahead and write down 7-3, the Mauryan Empire continued, but this is actually in a different notebook that I'm using up because I don't have any brand new notebooks. So I'm using one from before, from my period 3. My other one was from an earlier period, my period 2. So I'm using my period 3 notebook now. So my page numbers are going to be all weird and all confusing. So just wanted to give you guys that disclaimer. We are going to be writing down 7-3, the Mauryan Empire continued. So for those of you who are like me, if you run out of pages and if you don't have a notebook, you can do what I'm doing and use a different notebook and just make sure that yours is kind of divided up into different sections so that way it's not confusing for you. Guiding question is, why did the Gupta Empire become powerful? Why did the Gupta Empire become powerful? We're going to finish off with the end of the Mauryan Empire. So this is actually at the bottom of page 272. We're just going to finish that part off. So I'm going to write down the end of the Mauryan Empire. So it goes on to talking about, sorry, I'm getting a different colored pen. Let's do orange today. It talks about what happened after Asoka died. So I'm going to write down after Asoka died, the Mauryan Empire declined. I'm going to underline declines. The new rulers, so after he died, obviously they had to have new rulers. So the new rulers made merchants pay heavy taxes and took land from peasants. So they were not very good rulers at all. It sounds like they had a different approach from Asoka, because remember Asoka was all about improving what he had, whereas this, it sounds more about taking away what other people have. So underline pay heavy taxes and underline took land. So as a result, the people rebelled. You know, there's only so much that people are going to take before they're going to say no more. So I'm going to write down the people rebelled, which led to the kingdom splitting up. So I'm going to write down split into many small warring kingdoms. Small warring kingdoms. underline splits, and underline warring kingdoms. So the text then moves on to the Gupta Empire, which is addressing our guiding question of why it became so powerful. So I'm going to do a new subheading titled the Gupta Empire. So for 500 years, the small warring kingdoms let's put no, we're not going to do that. The small warring kingdoms fought for control of India. Okay, for 500 years. That's a long time. For control of India. Underline fought for control of India. Later on, so I'm going to write down later, comma, the Gupta dynasty came to power. In the Ganges River Valley. Okay, those of you who don't have your textbooks open, you're going to need them soon, so make sure you grab them. We're on page 273. There was another ruler called Samdragupta. Okay, so kind of like Gupta, but a longer version. Samudragupta, how do we say this? Yeah, Samudragupta. The pronunciation is the second paragraph from the top. So another long name. Ruled and expanded the empire in northern India. Go ahead and underline his name and underline ruled, and then underline expanded. So he was a great military leader. And he was a supporter of arts and literature. He believed there was value in those. Supporter of arts and literature. Which leads us to the foldable we're going to be working on soon. So Gupta rulers practice the Hindu religion. And show their support whenever they could. Okay, so I'm going to underline practice the Hindu religion. So, for example, they donated money. Okay, we're talking about showing their support of the Hindu religion. That's what it's referring to when it mentions showing support. So, for example, they donated money. They built temples. And then I think that I don't know, it just says etc. It gives it a couple other examples of how they show their support, I believe. Okay, last bullet point. Told you guys it was going to be short today. Merchants often traded salt, cloth, and iron. All right, and go ahead and underline what they traded. Okay, so pause this video if you fell behind and you need to catch up. If you are ready to move on, then let's get our foldable set up. You are going to need your textbook. Go ahead and turn your textbook to the next page. 274. I'm going to just tear out a lined piece of paper from my notebook. So kind of the same thing as our other foldable that we did. Use whatever paper you have, as long as it's large enough and that you can write in it. That's all that matters. Okay, so right here what you're going to be doing is you're going to be creating a foldable that organizes the different categories of contributions from this group of people. So we're going to be creating a foldable that does that. So first off, go ahead and turn your paper sideways, and we're going to fold up one time. Then I'm going to bring mine up and fold it again. And once more. Okay, so this is when you need to be careful and go ahead and first trace your lines. So your fold line. So trace this one. I'm going to trace this fold line and this fold line. Okay, so after you're done doing that, then you're going to label. So this first box right here is titled Literature. And this information can be found on page 274. Next one is Arts and Architecture. And this is found on page 275. Next one is Mathematics. This is on page 275 as well. And the last one is Advances in Science and Medicine. Advances in Science and Medicine. And this is on page 276. Grab some scissors. I'm going to grab mine. Okay, so just like how we always do, you're only going to cut on the line that you traced. Do not cut any further than that. So I'm going to cut this across. Okay, so you'll notice that these headings are the same subheadings in your textbook. So for example, literature. Literature. So all the information for literature will be here. We have arts and architecture over here. Mathematics is also on this page. And then advances in science and advances in medicine. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Minimum 5 bullet points for each section. And the only section that you need to do today is literature, okay? If you want to get ahead, go ahead and do as much as you can, but the assignment for today is to do your literature section. So go ahead, read on page 274 in that section, jot down 5 bullet points that have to do with literature of India, and then you guys are done for the day, nice and easy. If you are behind on any of the lessons this week, this is a perfect day for you to catch up on those lessons. Do not worry about gluing this in yet, because I want you to write in it first before we glue or tape it in. So like for me, I'm just going to put mine to the side, put it in a safe place, and then we'll revisit it later once you guys have it completed, okay? All right, make sure you jump on to my office hours if you have any questions. If not, then I will talk to you guys later. Bye.